Innovation, imagination, wonder. These are just some of the words used to describe Dr. Harvey Passes. Dr. Passes explores interesting people and ideas that will stimulate you. He questions the people who develop, create, and employ novel concepts in business and everyday lives. He especially loves to speak with successful people. How did they do it? How can you do it too? So let's join Dr. Harvey Passes in his quest of wonder and curiosity as we watch Dr. Harvey Passes Presents.
We're back. Well, of course we're back. You can see it. But I meant we're back. We're back on Long Island. We're going back to one of my most enjoyable loves, and that is the beautiful green country in the east end of Long Island, where you are going to get a chance to meet a vintner extraordinaire, a lovely person who has a winery on our own North Fork of Long Island, Anne-Marie Borghese. Well, first, let's say hi to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, hi.
Hi, Harvey. How are you?
Terrific. It's great to have you back here again. I always enjoy when you take the time out from stepping on the grapes and making the wines. Not you personally stepping on the grapes,
sure.
but and making the wines. And it's great. Let me tell the folks at home a little bit about you. Okay. This wonderful lady, she and her husband, Marco Borghese, they have a winery out on the east end of Long Island, Cutchogue. Yes. In Cutchogue, called Castello di Borghese, or many people just know it as Borghese Vineyard. And that's Borghese. It's an Italian name. We're going to learn the significance of that in a moment. And these people purchased this vineyard years ago. We'll get into that too. And they have just made some fantastic wines out there. I speak from personal experience when I've tasted them. So we're going to get a chance to taste some more, and I think you're really going to enjoy some of the riches and wonders that we have right here on Long Island. So let's begin. Okay. Emery, again, thanks very much for coming down. The name Borghese, yes. It's not a Brooklyn name. It's an Italian name. Tell me a little bit about Marco's background.
My husband's family's from the 9th century, and they can trace back to that point.
Number 9.
9th
century.
And,
wow.
There are many saints and popes and cardinals that have come through that family, and the Pope built most of Rome in the center part, and that was Pope Paul V. And
that's his family.
Yes.
That's incredible.
If you go into the main part of the church and you look down, you'll see the crest. You'll see that exact crest.
No kidding.
Yes.
That's fascinating. So Marco is considered he's a prince.
Of course, he's my husband.
Does he still take out the garbage?
He does everything. He does everything.
Well, kidding. He's a great guy.
He's a
terrific guy.
I wish he was here today. We just had so much going on at the farm. He had to stay behind to do some other events. So
it's a shame. I always love when he comes. He's articulate. He's very thoughtful, and he's a very interesting individual. Yes. So talking about interesting. Let's talk about your wines. Yes. First of all, we just finished. Not just, but your latest harvest is 2008. Yes. Okay. How do you feel about the 08 vintage on Long Island?
Our 2008 vintage was really very good. Compared to the 07, whenever you compare something to something that's better, then it looks a little less. But the bud break started fine. Variation was a little bit late. It was a little bit later than usual. But the year was a little bit more challenging because we had a lot more humidity, little tail ends of
mildew and all that kind of stuff.
From the hurricanes. We had a little bit of rain from the residuals of the hurricanes. So it was a little bit more challenging, a lot more costly to produce the 08 because you had to stay on top of the powdery mildew, and you had to address the sour rot. Sure it didn't come, but at the end of the season, we actually did. We always hand pick. We always hand pick everything. We cluster selected so that when you were actually getting, your grapes in, you knew exactly which ones were the better ones, and which ended up being a little less of a yield in 08 than 07. But at the same time, we were handpicking the right clusters to put together for the 08 vintage.
Let me just make a comment about that to my viewer at home. When a winemaker stresses that they want to hand pick, or the vineyard manager for that matter, someone who runs the vines out in the field. When they say they're going to hand pick, that means they're going out and they're looking at each grape.
Right.
And believe me, you must have seen grapes somewhere along the line. There's a lot of them on each vine. And you got to look at each one and go, yes, no, maybe yes, you're ready now, you're not ready. That's a big deal. And
we only pick once. Like, we go through the vines once. We
Right.
don't go back and repick the vine. So once it's been decided that
That's
that's
it.
not going to come, that's it. And
so your wine is going to be a really good, high-quality wine,
Right.
as opposed to just grabbing them all off,
Right.
shaking them all off,
Right.
and then just throwing them all in the vat and
Right.
just stepping on them.
exactly.
You know, so that's an important
And
thing.
the other thing in there, though, is that you've had to raise all those grapes, even though you decide not to use certain clusters. You've spent all the time and cost and,
Energy.
labor and, heart and soul put into growing a cluster that's not even going to end up in the vintage. So
right.
it's a lot of work and it's a lot of thought that goes into it. So when they compare,
Make a good jelly.
but that's a whole nother business.
I know,
and
I know
it's a
that, I
whole
know
other thing. And it's just like what my dream is always to make, at the end of the season, grappa. But that's a whole other amount of energy
Yep.
and man hours and time.
Different business,
and you're
different
just trying to
profession.
focus on getting a really good,
Right.
which is where we came to in this competition this year. We
Let's talk about
medaled
that.
in 4 different categories.
By the way, the day you make grappa, you've got to call me. I would love
I
to
know.
see it. We could film it being done. If you ever do that,
Okay.
I'll make a documentary
Okay.
with you on the making of grappa from beginning to end. That'd be fun.
Every time when I do my winemaker's walk at the end, when I show the people, like, this is the must and this is what, grappa is made of, and I always say, if anybody wants to come out and do this, or, you can have the things, and nobody's ever taken me up on it. There was
Really?
one person out there that used to do it regularly. He had a restaurant, and he would just offer it after the meal, but I offer it because I'm always looking for somebody, because long ago, a lot of people did make it, as part of the home winemaking
Right.
thing they would also do.
I should talk to you about that.
It would be
By the
fun.
way, I think that's great, your winemaker's walk.
Yeah.
Because you have, anybody can just come down and, at a set time, obviously.
It's a set time and there's a reservation fee, but you come and I do it. The great thing is that I do it all year round. So you can come in the off season on Saturdays and on the in season Thursdays and Sundays.
Right,
And
right.
it's 52 weeks a year.
Right.
And every single week somebody's
I think that's great.
interested,
You want to
so-
learn, you really get a chance to, get it from the, don't take this wrong, the horse's mouth.
I knew you were
Okay,
going to say
all
that.
Why the long face? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let's first discuss. I see you brought down here 4 bottles, and the 5th is an empty bottle, but I know it was a significant style of wine for you. So why don't we do this? Let's first talk about the real wines that are here right now and discuss them. And I see that you've got, oh, it's nice and chilled. I can feel that.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a New York Wine and Food Classic medal.
Yes.
So this is great. This is your 07 Sauvignon Blanc from Castello di Borghese. And this is great. It says 08. That means that's when the medal was
Given.
conferred.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine.
You
This
should
is
take the
really
medal
cool.
off because I think it's kind of, you might clink on the glass there.
No, we'll
You
do
gonna
this
it?
just to show it, first.
Okay.
Let's just show this. This is very cool.
Okay.
See if we can get a shot of that. Very cool. You see a little medal around a wine bottle. When's the last time you've seen that, I think that's very interesting. See if you can get a shot of that.
The
good. Very
vines,
cool.
the vines that make that wine are
great.
the
Thank
oldest
you.
on Long Island.
These are the oldest, okay? These were from the original Hargrave.
Right, and those are
Okay.
planted in 1973-ish.
1973. Okay, the older the vine, the better the wine.
Right.
So you got to know that. The older the vine, the better the wine. So 1973, so we're looking at 35, 36 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great for Long Island. That is so great.
And that's one of the things I always try to tell people when they go to taste wine or, go to a new region or whatever. Maybe you don't love the wine so much. And one of the questions you should always ask is, how old is the vine? Because if the vine is only 2 or 3 years old, it's much more challenging to make a wine that's going to be tasting like a vine from, 30, 40 years old. So
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the bouquet is just filling the air in here.
yeah, it's
And
nice.
I am just smelling, oh my gosh.
I just
I'm-
dream of-
Oh, wait a minute. Let me just give you what I'm smelling here. Oh, this is wonderful. I'm getting a complexity. I'm getting good citrus, but it's being counterbalanced with some very slight guava, a little bit of passion fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's the hintest of anise. The hintest of anise. Very small.
I've heard that before.
Oh my God, it's wonderful. Wonderful.
I just dream of Peconic baked scallops when I smell this smell.
Stop it! You're killing me.
The two things together.
You're killing me.
just
Peconic
amazing.
baked. Oh, they're sweet like
And they're
sugar.
still available.
Oh.
They're still available. This has been a really good year for that.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, cheers.
Great color, great nose. Cheers. On Long Island wine. Yes. Yes.
Well, that's what they said, and we got the
Yes.
medal.
Yes. Delicious, wonderful, mouth-filling.
And there's no oak in that, and it's a really full, big
Feels like you
mouthfeel.
bit into a grape. It feels like it's
juicy.
unmanipulated.
Yeah.
It feels like you took it off, you know, you got alcohol in it, and then you bit into it. And it's wonderful. And look at the legs on this wine.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
nice.
it's just a wonderful, full-bodied and full-textured wine for a white, that is.
Yep.
And this is just terrific.
This is just a fabulous local wine to go with all the local produce and
Well, that was my
aqua.
question for you. What would you eat with your Sauvignon Blanc?
Peconic based scallops, any beautiful white fish. You know, you could have, you know, just a
Sole.
numerous things from the area. Crab, it'll go with crab. More lighter fare, lighter food, like lighter
Cold shrimps?
shrimp. You could do it with that too, yeah. Because as you start to get into the meal, you want to have a little bit heavier wine, which is where we're kind of working it out
Right,
to. So
right.
as we go,
Right.
it'll be really nice. But
This would be good with
Peconic-
clams.
Clams.
Oh, I know what this
Yeah.
would be great with.
What?
This would be fantastic with smoked trout and a horseradish sauce.
Yes, that's good.
Oh, would that be good?
Well,
That-
we'll have to look through the cookbook a little later. And
Yeah,
see
we're going
which
to talk about
ones-
that. Well, you know what? Let's discuss that right now,
Okay.
because there never is a later.
Because what I do with that is that you look through there, you see what I
Check
paired
this out.
the Sauvignon Blanc with, and then you just make that recipe.
Now, this is a cookbook where donations go to which charitable organization?
I did this cookbook with the Association for Helping Retarded Children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an organization in Bohemia that's been on Long Island for like 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Mamalito and I met at an art gallery, and he proposed this idea, and they did it very quickly, and it's all the Gold Coast restaurants
Mm-hmm.
with very easy to follow recipes, and then on the bottom there's a wine note, and so you just can make a wine
Oh, I see it.
pairing
Here
dinner.
it is. Yeah. Give all your wines in here. That's fabulous.
So if you wanted to do like a wine pairing dinner and you didn't really know how to go about doing it, you just pick one from the appetizers, one from the main, one from a soup and salad,
And
one
you're in
from
business.
dessert.
Lobster meat and brodetto over angel hair.
Sounds good.
Oh, God. My God. I'm going. Veal Casa Rustica. Look at that. You got all these. Oh, boy. I know all these restaurants.
They're great.
Oh, this is
they were
terrific.
great, and they put that together in like 2 weeks. They faxed me all the menus, and then
you put the wines.
Put the wines, and then we put it together.
Wow.
And all
I love doing these things. This is fantastic.
It's a nice book.
I think that's great. That is great. So a lot of the proceeds then help retarded children from this organization you're talking about in Bohemia.
AHRC, they call it now AHRC, the shortened
I
name.
think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, the wine is just
good.
absolutely outstanding.
I just love the nose of this. I mean, it's great. It's absolutely great.
Oh, this is a wonderful aperitif wine as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more than just an aperitif. I mean, I could have this with deli, with nice deli sandwich.
This
You know,
one will
on-
go
on-
with,
on-
it's a
during the middle of
food
the day.
wine. It's
Yeah.
really a food
You
wine.
could enjoy this with pork, ham,
You could, you
a
know,
ham
it's-
sandwich,
yeah.
ham and cheese. You know,
Whatever
a
you
little mayonnaise and mustard on there or something
hold the
like
mayo.
that. No, fat free.
No, I don't like mayo at all.
Oh, you're not a mayo gal. Okay. All right. So
Alrighty.
here we go with that. Okay. Before we go to the next wine, which actually let's do it. Then after that, I want to start talking. I'm not going to say politics, but wine concerns on
Yes.
Long Island
Yes.
and the concept of going green
Yes.
and people's perceptions.
Right.
Okay. Here's another winner.
And that's the double gold.
Double gold. Fantastic. Look at this.
Yes.
Let's turn this around and see a Borghese 2007 Chardonnay, which I might add is nicely chilled. I can feel it. And look at that nice little medal there. I think that's fantastic. how many times do you see wine bottles with medals on it? I think that's great. It's terrific. So kindly give me a glass.
Sure.
And here we go. Okay.
This one is a little bit bigger color.
Yeah, now talk to me about this wine. Has this wine touched any oak?
No.
Again, stainless steel. Mm-hmm. Did it go through any malolactic fermentation?
It did.
It
a
did.
Little bit.
So the wine's going to be a little fatter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to be a little thicker, a little creamier.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
We
pineapple.
Yeah. I know they all have such great nose. I mean, it's really.
I remember once telling someone, well, that wine's got pineapple. The guy looks at me. He wasn't into wines. He would drink it, but he says, pineapple? He says, there's no pineapple in the wine. I said, you don't get it. It's the way it's made. He looked at me, thought I was kidding. Then I had to send him articles where they talked about the pineapple and this wine, pineapple. And he looked at me and says, okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah. Well, it takes a while for people to understand when you start saying all those words, tobacco and leather and, different things are in the wine.
Ooh. Good acid to stand up to, this is a food wine.
This is a shrimp wine.
Shrimp wine.
Definitely.
Lobster to me, dipped in drawn butter. Why not?
Well, you could, but we have one that's even more superb than this one. It's the barrel fermented.
Oh, so
that's our lobster. That's our lobster.
That will stand up.
Yeah, this one is
this
more.
This is clean.
Yes, crisp,
it's
bright.
Crisp, it's clean, and the fruit, again, right at you. The fruit's right there. Fresh tasting, delicious tasting, wonderful wine. Someone says, how long should I keep this in my cellar?
Well, these have no oak in them, so I would drink them within the year. I don't think you need. I mean, you could keep them probably for 3 years. They'll probably be okay, but you will start to see a change. The wines you want to keep longer really are the wines that have a nice oak component to them.
Interesting to know that.
Yes.
Okay, that's important.
Well, the other thing about storing wines is too, the thing that's crucial is temperature. They must stay exactly the same temperature. If it goes up and down, that shortens the life of a wine. A lot of people don't realize that. They go, oh, I keep it in my dining room.
Big mistake.
No, you have to keep it in like something that stays exactly the same, like even temperature.
Keep it in the basement, keep it away from everything, keep it away from the boiler.
Yeah.
Put it at the other end, keep it away from vibration, keep it away from light, and don't play with it.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Yeah. Don't go by and pick it up and shake it and say, okay, and put it back in again.
Right.
This is, but that's good to know. When there's no oak, then just drink the wine.
Enjoy it soon. Yeah.
Enjoy it soon.
But you can smell the big difference between the two varietals.
Oh,
the
yes.
Sauvignon Blanc and the Chardonnay. I mean, it's like completely different.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Nose.
Very elegant wine.
Thank you.
Elegant. That's I think a nice way of phrasing this, which is terrific. Let's talk about for a moment about Long Island and the concept of green.
Okay.
Okay. We had a conversation earlier. Why don't you begin?
Well, one of the things that I still am very frustrated after the 10 years of being here is that, people...
10 years already.
Yeah, I know. People always are talking about how sometimes Long Island wines might be a couple of dollars more here, there, whatever, than the cheapest thing in the store. But what you have to remember is you're paying for what you get, and one of the things you're helping to sustain is all the farms that are on the East End. We're in one of the most expensive real estate areas. We have some of the most expensive labor. And yes, the wines are going to be a little bit more expensive because we're not in a government subsidized, foreign country kind of thing. So if you have all of this other expense, it has to go somewhere, and it has to go into the cost of the bottle. So if you're buying something that's from very far away, being shipped in, 1,500, 3,000 miles, and maybe it's a couple dollars less, eventually you're going to pay for that because you're using up the resources over there faster. Whereas if you could just maintain the resources that you have here and keep the land moving forward, keep it healthy, keep it in farming.
Keep it green.
As opposed to keep it in one of Long Island's favorite crops, which is houses.
Yeah, right. Pop up all over the place.
Yeah, then you are actually maintaining your local area, and it's a key element. Also, too, a lot of people still, after all this time, don't even know that New York makes wine, and we really have to get. One of my famous questions is I ask every presentation I do. I say, who celebrates Thanksgiving? Great. Who serves wine at Thanksgiving? Most hands go up. Who serves New York State? Most hands go down. Who serves Long Island? More hands go down. I don't even ask who serves Borghese because to pinpoint it so specifically to a Long Island group that they would be serving, my wine, well, it's okay. Maybe they could serve Long Island wine. Maybe it could be New York State wine. And there's so many vineyards in New York and on Long Island that it would be really good for the health and the wealth of the economy of New York State as our governor is starting to feel, his budget crunch, and we will feel that too when all that comes down
very,
the pike.
Very important for people to be looking beyond themselves.
Yes.
And look at everything that indirectly impacts upon each of us.
Because we're all connected.
We're all,
Every
hey,
single
let me tell
thing
you,
is
if nobody understands that after what just happened in this financial meltdown, that we're all connected, well, I don't know where their head's been. I don't understand that. Let's move on to the red for a moment while we're continuing our conversation.
I think we'll switch glasses. How about that?
It sounds good to me.
Okay.
Okay, I like these glasses. They're very pretty.
Thank you.
I love Pinot Noir, and your Pinots in the past have always been a delight.
Yeah.
Been terrific. So let's take a look at the Pinot that we've got here, and you can see it. And the labels are all pretty similar, you know, in style and everything else. I see you've got, we get that. You've got Marco's crest, family crest on there. Thank you. So let's pour this.
Giovanni and Marco did the labels.
Really?
My son, yeah, Giovanni.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
He did. He had a lot to do with the Bordeaux label more than the Burgundy one, but he just said that these all had to be wrapped around, had to be more flowing. So
I see.
that was his input.
Well, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Okay, so now this is a 2005 Pinot Noir, made famous by the movie Sideways.
Yes.
To destroy Merlot. Which is a terrible shame because I love Merlot.
Which is really funny because when we were serving this one time in the tasting room, one of the actors from that movie came in.
Really?
And she's like, "Oh yeah, I was in this like little movie. It's like a sleeper. Nothing's going to happen." But they kept talking about this.
This was
Pinot
before
Noir.
the movie hit.
Yeah.
So she came in.
And she was the girl that was going to be married.
Oh, go away.
In there. And so nobody even asked her autograph or anything. And then it just like became a really, really big thing.
Absolutely, a cult film.
And we're one of the very few that.
It's cold though.
Yeah, it's a little cold.
That's the problem. It's holding down the bouquet a lot.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because I'm getting cinnamon in the nose.
Oh,
here.
definitely cinnamon.
Oh wow! I'm getting almost like a sugared cinnamon, almost like a what is it? Cinnamon is predominant. Spicy.
Spicy, definitely.
Candy apple, spicy.
It's like when you steam spices.
Ooh.
But it's like got a big mouth.
Now this would go good with roast pork. This would go good with
duck.
A duck would be delicious with duck. Delicious. I love Pinot Noir with, believe it or not, with Peking duck.
Yeah.
I love it. I just think it goes great. And I love it. I like it. I like my Pinot Noir stinky and barnyardy.
Yeah.
I just love that. Like someone threw in old socks or something.
Well, my great friend came from Tahiti to visit me on Long Island, and she, you know, they don't have a lot of duck in Tahiti, so we made her. And
they have very few vineyards.
Her friend actually has a vineyard.
A vineyard in Tahiti?
Yes.
Drainage must be great.
She brought me wine, and it was very interesting comparing the two wines.
No
and
kidding.
Her favorite is Pinot Noir, so we had duck and Pinot Noir for her. I guess it was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And it snowed while she was here, which was very exciting.
Oh, she must have gone crazy. She must have loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is wonderful.
I love the color.
Yeah, the color is absolutely beautiful.
It's just such a beautiful
shade. People who don't understand the Long Island wines, if they only drink California wines and they don't drink Long Island wines, they really miss the boat on what it's all about. One shouldn't say, well, I like California wines. They're different. They're different. These wines truly mimic. If I were to pick any place on earth, I would say France. The wines are more like French. Okay. They're not wines that will punch you in the face. They're not heavy alcoholic wines. They're not wines that have, well, we just don't have the kind of sun that California has
and also,
to give all that sugar.
That's our style. I mean, the Borghese style is really to have food-friendly wine. Like wine is part of the table. It's part of every meal.
Right.
And so I don't want wines that really knock you over and have really super high alcohol content because, you know, you want to have maybe 2 glasses.
I agree with that.
Or,
I'd like you to pour that because we only got about 4 minutes left. And I want to try right now your Cabernet.
Okay.
And it's an 05 Reserve, no less.
Yeah, this
so
is really
let me pour that for you if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
And I'll do this here. And this again is
the color.
The color. It's ink.
Yeah, it's
a
gorgeous.
dinkadoo. No, ink. Wonderful. Look at this. Another a gold medal winner. Oh, this is fantastic. This is again on 08 won a gold medal. Let's put this over here and let's. Now this is a reserve. Very quickly, what's the difference between a reserve and a run-of-the-mill Cabernet?
Well,
from
to reserve,
each-
what we did is we did it in order: non-vintage, estate, reserve, and premium. This one being a premium. Now the tannins got you.
Right. No, it just went down the wrong way as I spoke to you.
So the reserve is just a little bit fuller, rounder, bigger. It's longer in the oak. It's sometimes more of the virgin barrels, the newer barrels, and more of the premier wine coming out of that.
Then this will be your most special that you set aside. It's terrific.
Reserve, yeah.
You know, I got to tell you, the nose on this is incredible, fantastic. But here's my big but. This wine's still young. I mean, this is young. This wine's got years ahead of it.
I know.
This wine should be sleeping right now in the cellar. And my God, I wouldn't come back. I wouldn't even begin to taste this again for another 3 years.
That's one of the problems is that a lot of times people buy the wine and drink it
Drink 'em.
that night.
Big
and
mistake.
Then they never know what an old wine tastes like. When I do my Borghese Classic tasting, we go from the 07 Sauvignon Blanc through 5 wines, and we end up with the Merlot 01 Reserve. So you're getting an 07 and an 01. And people in between can taste all the different palate, nuances of year and vintage and all that. But when you taste a Merlot that's already 8 years old, that's been stored correctly, it's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different experience.
It's a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
Because you're a Merlot drinker, and that's not my favorite wine, the Merlot. But this Merlot 01 Reserve is really good. It's a really, really good wine to drink by the glass, and it's excellent with food. So I am finding myself opening that one often at home. So
well, that's terrific. This is wonderful, but the tannins are so predominant that it's just grabbing my gums, and it's there, and it's just masking all the wonderful fruit. But you still get the wonderful bouquet coming through, and the color in the wine is absolutely terrific. This wine is going to be a blockbuster, and some years from now, I'd love to revisit this and taste it. We got about 2 minutes left. I just can't believe how much time. Is there any last comments that you want to make besides my telling people that they should get in the car and come on out to the North Fork or the South Fork of Long Island and visit wine country? Spend a day out there, go into one of the inns, sleep over, go through and see a whole other world. You'll think you're in another planet.
yeah.
You think you're in another state.
It's a fabulous place to visit. I have one little thing for you for Happy New Year's Eve. This was my favorite wine over the holidays.
Oh, and you signed it.
Yes, it's a very easy wine, but it goes with aperitif.
Fleurette.
It's nice with food for dinner.
thank you very much.
It's just a great. That was one of our best sellers during the holidays.
What grape did you use this with? Or is it a blend?
It's a Merlot. It's a maceration of Merlot. So.
Oh, fantastic. I love drinking rosés that are different. Oh, look how adorable that is.
And that's something to do in your spare time.
Oh my God, look at this. Oh, it's so funny.
With all your extra little corks.
Oh, that's great. We can hang this up. You know, put it on a little
Absolutely.
tree or something like that.
You need a few more maybe for.
That's right. No,
But,
that's great.
it's fun.
It's absolutely terrific. I think that you and Marco are doing such an incredible job, and you've been there 10 years.
10 years, I
and
know, I
it's
can't believe
just
it.
amazing. And you never had anything to do with this in a former life.
No, my background was jewelry and art.
That's right.
So-
That's right. I mean, just absolutely amazing. We're out of time.
Well,
Anne
here we
Marie
go
Borghese,
again.
will you come back again?
Absolutely. If you
Okay.
come visit me,
You got
I'll
it.
come.
You got it. It's been
All right.
an
Thank
absolute
you.
pleasure. And
Thanks.
give a big hello to Marco. And tell him the next time, please, I would love to work it out so that he could be here as well.
Very
We
good.
talk some more. Terrific.
Very good.
And I hope
Alrighty.
you're not a stranger. You should go on out to the North Fork of Long Island or the South Fork. There's just a lot more wineries on the North Fork. And you'll have the time of your life. I'm telling you. You want a wonderful vacation? You want a staycation? You can stay local. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy great wines, great food, great produce, great history. It's tremendous. Long Island's an incredible place. So, Dr. Pass is saying, just like Anne Marie Borghese, whatever you do it with passion. Otherwise, what's the use? See you again next time. Toast.
Toast.
To Long Island.
To Long Island.
Pleasure.